You just can't make this stuff up. Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Visual Disturbance. I'm your host, Brian Reese, and today I have a interesting topic that I want to talk about today, and what I just come across was just something very phenomenal. I had to make a video about it, so hang on to your seats, everybody. It's going to get a little rocky and rough, but this is the stuff I enjoy, so I wanted to try to bring this to everybody's attention, how crazy things are getting out there. And with all this technological advancements, so-called technological advancements, and algorithms and AI, etc. and all that. So it's a really interesting topic. So, get this. So, there's like this new technology that they're, allowing everybody to take part in with applications, etc., programs. And the other day, somebody was posting about it. Somebody I know was talking about this certain application that you could either get on your computer, either get it on your phone. So I just chose to get on my phone. It's like, okay, cool. Let's do this thing. Let's just test it out. So there's all kinds of different ones. I'm not here to bash the companies. I'm not here to talk about it in any shape or form in a negative light. It's just the interesting standpoint of what I discovered and what came to life, literally came, I wouldn't say it to life, but to do with rendering and drawings and stuff that you just can't make it up. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So, what do you think it is? So, let's get back to the title of the video. I'm getting ahead of myself because this is going to be exciting. So, the title of today's show is Nephilim and Rephaim. And you guessed it, like you've seen at the beginning after the intro, generated from phone. I literally had, no joke, I typed in on a particular app, I'm not going to say what the app was, and sure enough, I typed in Nephilim. I wanted to see what would happen when I typed in Nephilim. So when I did that, it gives you these options. And here in a second, I'll show you. I actually popped the app up. Why not? Let's just pop the app up. I will not say it on the broadcast here what the app is. You'll probably see the name of it on the device, but if I can get it to pop up. But anyways. So I'll kind of give you all like a little bit of a rundown what happened. So I typed in Nephilim, and when I typed in Nephilim, it brought up these different styles and different artwork that you could and here it is. I'll bring it up right now. I can bring it up. I think I can. Let's see here. So here's your app. And what you can do with it, you can enter a command prompt. Like if you was making a website or anything, there's commands and all this stuff. You can get into web design, etc., all these different things. We do into binary code, all these different things that do with computers and all that stuff. So literally, I typed in enter a prompt. So I typed in Nephilim, and when I did that, it literally, no joke, it says, wait a minute, and wait for your, let me reframe. Let me back up for a minute. It gives you an option. It gives you an option to do there's 20 different options for time, like the artistic standpoint, like concept, rendering and all this, concept art, etc. So I chose concept art because I wanted to see what it would actually just spit out. I wouldn't say spit out, but you get what I mean. I wanted to see what the algorithm would do. So I was I was waiting. So it says after I put in Nephilim, I typed in Nephilim in this little box right here, in this little prompt box. I typed in Nephilim, and no joke, as soon as I typed in Nephilim, it said it might be a few minutes. It might take a while to render it, etc. So basically, what this app does, this is where it's headed in this realm. And I know I have a friend that is a big art. He's in art. He's one of the, probably the most phenomenalist artist I've ever seen. I'm not trying to, boast and, make him, give him the big head, so to speak. But I'm not supposed to, no, I'm not supposed to do that. But I really do think he's very talented. God has blessed him abundantly on that. So, the idea for him of this technology even being there in the realm of our existence is really severely bad. And I totally agree with that. On an artistic standpoint, I know just recently there was some kind of contest or something not too long ago, like a few weeks back or something like that, maybe a week or two. A gentleman literally told everybody there, and all these people are like really phenomenal artists, and they're there to draw and have a contest. But he told them straight up that he was using an algorithm software, and all he was doing is leading the algorithm, like leading it along the way. So all he was doing was basically doing command prompts and whatever he had to do on a standpoint of what artistic level that he could do. But basically what he was doing, he literally straight up told him, and he won, and then everybody, was a lot of backlash and everything going on with the guy. And he had like a lot of issues with it. There was a lot of significant issues there's a lot of backlash, so to speak. So what do you guys think, right? So on an artistic standpoint, I think it's very, very bad for like people that have been spend their whole life as artists, and then these AI algorithms and stuff is just causing all kinds of crazy. But I will show you what I found today that is so crazy, just so out there. You know, it's just, I just have to you can't make this stuff up. So, anyways, I put the Nephilim command prompt in there. I typed in Nephilim, right? So here's the first. So what you're about to see, the way I take it and the way I understand it, when I type in Nephilim, it's not searching for an image. It's going to make an authentic image for my phone. So the way I understand it, this picture, and these pictures I'm getting ready to show you guys, it's only for my phone, because I use the application to render this, and the AI or whatever gave it the command. I gave it the commands, and it just literally rendered it from its own intelligence standpoint and draw these pictures. So prepare your mind and heart, because a lot of it is really wicked. And this is why I want to bring it up to the show. And real quick before we start into this path, I wanted to bring this up. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6, verse 12, King James Version. Well, what I'm getting ready to show you is like, what? It's like mind-boggling, right? So, where are we headed? That's one question I have for everybody. Where are we actually headed in this realm of existence? It's interesting where we're headed. But anyways, I typed in Nephilim. Let's get into it. I know y'all are waiting. First one on the agenda, there's 4. It's scaled and rendered 4 pictures, 4 pieces of art. So some of them are very disturbing. So if there's children, please, I would advise everybody not to let children watch this video, because I'm not going to let my kids watch this video either. So even though I like for them to watch my stuff, this one's kind of hard to look at, and there's a demonic presence, in my opinion, and I'll comment below and see what you guys think. First one on the list. So here's the wild part about this whole deal is if you can see the head there's all these different eyes, and it looks almost like a mask. It almost looks like, like some type of, Halloween mask or whatever it is, right? So, the eyeballs, everything, and it looks, and there's wings, and there's like all this, I just couldn't believe, and it gets worse. This is actually the lightest one of all. This one's like kind of the low grade, kindergarten level compared to what it's going to get to in a little bit. It's a more advancement state. So just literally bear with me and just check it out. I mean, look at the wings, the left or right. I mean, look at there's hair, and it has a torso of a man, legs of a man, but there's all these, attributes of an angel, attributes of the demonic presence, and all this stuff. So there's the first one. So bear with me. It gets worse. So just hang on. Just hang on. It's just crazy. So I'm going to bring up something too real quick too also to kind of give you all a reference of what the first thing that I went to in my mind and what resonated with it. It was actually a video game, unfortunately. But the first thing, all these pictures reminded me of the same game. I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, this has to be it. I mean, there's really nothing else. And this game came out like 12 years ago or something. It's a little older, but the type of game it is, they still can make continuations and make more updated versions, etc., and make more of their versions of the game and different story plots and etc. But let's go to the second one on the list. This is the Nephilim. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the Rephaim on the last part of this video. The Nephilim, the second image. Check this one out. As you can see at the top of the screen, I did not cut it off. It did not render it any other way. And some of these other pictures in this video that I'm showing you all today, some of these slides, their heads are cut off. It's weird. It rendered it with the torso and etc. But look at all the hands, and it almost looks like a show. I'll give you all a picture to look at here. The first thing I thought of was, let's see what that thing is. Let's see. I remember the show. Yeah, there it is. So, well, they had a couple new renditions of it, but this is the first thing that I thought. Let me pop it up on the screen for you guys. So, let me see. Swamp Thing. I know they had like a 2019. I know this is a DC. Here we are in the DC universe and all that. But this is the first thing I thought of. All these, whatever this AI, when this application rendered this and made this, right? So it's just so strange to me that this is what resonated in my mind. I thought of the Swamp Thing was a comic book series, been around for a long time. Heck, it was out for years. They used to have TV shows, cartoons, etc. But this, apparently they had a TV show in 2019. It didn't go too well. I don't know why, but anyway, I don't watch this stuff. But what I'm getting at, that's the first thing that resonated in my mind on this image I showed you guys. So it gets worse. So there's actually more stuff. It's just like you have to like slap your head and you're like, you can't make this stuff up. So on the third one, I hope everybody's ready for this because it gets worse and worse. And the Rephaim ones are worse than the Nephilim ones. So I can't make it up. So here's the third one on the list. This bad boy here, as you can tell, it looks more, it's got dragons, armor. It looks kind of like the Swamp Thing. It kind of looks like that narrative. But like I said a minute ago, the movie or the show, not the show, but the video game that come out a while back, and this picture image, this is the very first one that rendered, and that's the first one I seen, and when I did this little experiment with my application. So this game, I don't want to if it'll mess up my channel, but as you can see and read, this is a game that's been around for a long time. They have all kinds of different things, from giants, from, fairies, lion-like men of Moab. I mean, they have lion-like men. There's Nephilim creatures everywhere, Rephaim creatures. I mean, this wizardry, alchemy, witchcraft, the whole shebang, right? I mean, it's just ate up. But the first one, that picture, or that third picture that I just showed you guys, it reminds me of, I'm trying to find the imagery. It reminds me of this one. It's armor, and there was another one that was very almost close. You could basically compare each other, and it blew my mind that the application would render. But what do you know? This stuff it's mind-boggling in my opinion. But that's why I'm making a video. But anyways, I can't find the image. But, oh, it's right here. I found it. So if you can see it, you see my mouse going around it. It looks very similar to that third picture. Looks very similar to me. and I don't know about you guys, but it looks very similar. So here's one more. Well, here's one more. The fourth one on the list that we're just going to be like, oh no, you just can't make this up. So fourth one on the list, the Nephilim, and it's going to be this looking like Cyclops. And I kid you not, I did not render it in any shape or form or change or alter these photos. So for the record on this video, it has like on the right hand, it has like a sword looking thing growing on the side of it with it's all this hair, and it almost reminded me of a dogman, like a werewolf or whatever. It had a little bit of armor, but mixed in with, fur. The torso of man, it's got the feet of, like, if you look on the bottom there, it looks very similar to, claws, etc. And then there's like a Cyclops looking, orb like glowing in the middle. But it literally, for the record, this, kid you not, this app rendered it in that shape. It cut the head off and made it kind of like, it put more emphasis on the torso, the arms, the legs. But it did, look at this craziness. I mean, it's insane, right? I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, it's like, wow, you can't, it's like mind boggling, right? You're just like, and to me, this kind of stuff right here, it's going to get worse. So I thought the Nephilim would be the hardest ones to look at, but like the Rephaim ones are like just out of this world. So it's just, you can't make it up. So once again, I'll show you what I did for the sake of the video. I took and I just entered a prompt, but I've ran out of stuff, so I can't do another one for the show because it was a free app and you had to pay for like a subscription, and I just don't have the money to do that. And so when you look at this, you just type it in, type whatever you want in. So I tried to change it. I actually did some other ones too. I did like on monuments and obelisks and stuff, and I was trying to change it up and see what would happen. And it did, like, I would change like monument and I would do it in capitalized or lowercase letters and see what would happen and see if it altered the state of the picture in any shape or form, and still did concept art and try to keep the flow and just consistency. So the obelisk, when I changed it from like lowercase and uppercase, it would do like schematics. It was wild. It was just so wild, everybody. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on here? So like, it would like break down like almost the way like an architect would break down to like simulate the obelisk. I was mind boggled. I was like, what is going on here, right? So then my wheels was turning, and I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes. So like, I'm thinking, is this new? Like that kind of thing. And then I'm thinking petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, the stuff that I love on the, talk about on this channel, talk about biblical stuff, archaeology, etc. But the first thing I thought of was like, when you see these ancient languages, right? And you look into like, you could talk about Enochian languages, Samaritan, all these different things. You get into all different stuff, Egyptian, etc. You look at petroglyphs, hieroglyphics, and you're thinking, I used English language to enter into a prompt, but it would not matter. The application would still be able to pick up even a different language. If you typed it in, whatever, Aramaic, whatever you typed in, it would still render that. So I've started contemplating like, some of these temples, etc., some of these things you see that you can't explain. It's almost like, you get into 3D printing that we have today, 3D printing houses, etc. So it's almost like there's a state of something in the past that's catching up with the day. So you get into fallen angel technology. We can get into all these different antediluvian technology, etc., Atlantean, whatever we can go down a rabbit hole with that. But the point is, if this stuff is nanotechnology, all these different things. So it blew my mind when I was seeing this application. I'm thinking, okay, so you get into, so here we are with all these advancements that's coming around we're literally here we are in 2022, and things are just, it seems like escalating into something. I don't, it's just, I'm just a man. I don't really know what's going on. I just pray about it and pray the Father protects us all. But the thing is this thing is so like surreal that just by basically making this video, I'm like mind boggled by the fact that this stuff even exists. So like when I look in, and I think a little bit on a computer standpoint, mind based anyway. So I'm thinking, okay, like these command prompts and stuff like that, and then all these algorithms that you can incorporate and make a software, make a program, all these different things. But then like I'm literally just telling it, it's rendering me an authentic, original portrait of some shape or form. But I could not believe the state of it, that it would show me, and the wickedness of it. So it gets worse. So wait, there's more. You just can't make this up. So the next ones are going to be, there's going to be eight imageries, 8 pictures that I'm going to be showing you guys. That is going to be the Rephaim side of thing. So like I said, I did the same concept, enter the prompt, and I did what I did to keep it consistently for this video and for the research standpoint. I did Nephilim on concept art when I did the style, and I did Rephaim on concept art also. So there would be a consistent, I wanted to make sure that they would flow, and I wanted to see if the Nephilim or the Rephaim would change. Well and behold, the Rephaim actually got worse. So it's like a lot more darker imagery. So hang on to your seat, folks. So the very first one I'm getting ready to show you guys is this one. This one, to me, you know, you can't really make it up. It almost looks feminine. You know, the torso and everything, it looks more feminine to me. And what was so strange about this, it reminds me of what we just looked at a minute ago, you know, like the whole video game standpoint. And I kept thinking about it, and then I really had to turn my head a little bit and look back at it and kind of just focus on it for a little bit. And it almost had a feel for, I'll get to it in a minute, I'll mention the name in a minute, but it has a feel to a certain character. And when I seen the female anatomy there, it just resonated with me. So here in a minute, I'll show you the other. I'll mention it here in a minute, because there's another picture that looks just, it's so apparent that you can see where I'm gonna head. I'm gonna just hold that thought, and I'll get back with you on the name here in a minute. Here's the second one on the list. This cat right here. You can see the angel wings. You can see, you know, medieval type of armor toward the bottom of his, you know, his stomach area, and you see like these winged, like, I mean, this is some creepy stuff right here. I'm sorry, but this is no joke. If you're just tuning in, this is some wicked, like, it's just crazy. The eyes, everything, the slits in the eyes, the whole thing, the long hair, the angelic properties, but it's all demonic. Even the claws on the fingers, it's just wild. You know, I just can't, I don't know. Dan Bedoni, shout out to him. He's giving me a hard time last night. He was like, you just can't make this stuff up. He's just messing with me. He was like, you should make a t-shirt about that, because I keep saying you can't make this stuff up, you know, but you just can't make this stuff up, though. I can't repeat that enough and put enough emphasis on that. You cannot make this stuff up. So here we go for the third one. So yeah, just hang on, everybody. Oh, wrong one. Excuse me. I went to the Nephilim. This is the third one. The third one, it has all these spiral looking things. Once again, you have the head is taken off. This one just kind of freaked me out, because you look at it in a stance of like portals and stuff, and rendering on, to me, it just freaked me out. One hand is having like a sword, like, you know, on the right hand, and then the left is just kind of looking like it's made out of smoke and steam, you know, like, just the effects of it, just it's kind of freaky. But yeah, once again, the application rendered it, and no head, but the torso and everything is intact. And, you know, this one's kind of weird, because the arm is kind of, it almost looks like 3 arms. Let's go to the fourth one. Now here's the one, if you want to go back and, this one and this one, this one, the first one that I showed you on the Rephaim, a set of 8, and this one. If you can look at it and compare to what I was showing you on the first one, and you go back to this one, this is the anatomy of a woman also, and it looks very, you can see the wings, and the first thing I thought of, drum roll please, everybody, I thought of Lilith. I just couldn't help it. This is the first thing I thought of, the wings, and it literally looks like you could go, when it all comes into it looks kind of like there's it gets worse, but there's like some owl. It looks almost similar to like woods, like there's there for like, it almost makes me look like a tree and stuff, but you can see on the bottom of her feet, it looks more like a creature with human hybridization going on here, right? And it almost looks like, not to bring it up, but it almost looks like, what's the character's name off of, what's the guy's name? I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. What is it? What's the Guardians of the Galaxy character? Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Groot, I think. I think his name's Groot. Is his name Groot, everybody? I think his name's Groot. I think it is. Well, anyways, I would bring it up, but I can't even find anything on it. But I think you all understand who I'm talking about. Yeah, here it is. I found it. So, this character here, the Groot wood-like creature that's made out of a plant and all this stuff and trees, etc., and all that, and really tall. I got to point that out. Really tall. I thought that was strange, just to point that out. Nephilim, tall height, all that stuff, and yeah. I mean, not to put so much light on these comic book characters, but yeah, it's just, isn't that interesting? Something to take food for thought, so to speak. So yeah, so this character really reminded me, and then especially the first one, the Lilith narrative stinks with this one. It gets worse. I have 4 more to show you all. The last one, for the record, is really bad. And I might show it, I might not. I don't know. It just depends. Here's the 5th one. Obviously, this is the anatomy. It looks more like of a man, but look at the sticks and everything. It's still kind of got the wood kind of narrative going, but more demonic. There's a lot of demonic stuff going on. Looking more like a skeleton, in my opinion, with wood and all those different things, elements. It was like wings, etc., cape, and a sword growing out of his. I don't know. It's strange, very strange skeleton. This literally looks demonic to me, and I couldn't believe that the application would still even make the draw, back the shading and everything and blending of the background. I was just blown away with that. And then the 6th one, this one just reminded me of like angelic, and it looked more like the hands are up. It looks like there's feet on the arms. It's all backwards. So this application was literally rendering however it's seen fit to whenever I typed in Rephaim. So it's really creepy. It's really creepy. So look at the wing standpoint and all that, and it only showing one eye, which I have to say that tripped me out. Just the one eye symbolism was just phenomenal. And this looks like more of a younger child, or teenager with wings. Teenager standpoint. It's kind of creepy with the one eye symbolism and all that, and the nose. You can't even see a nose. 2 more. I don't know if I'm gonna show the last one or not, because it's pretty rough. Okay, this one is the 7th one. So this one really freaked me out, because look at this. These guys got like a javelin or 2 like blades on each arm, and like at the very bottom it looks more like a gargoyle feet, so to speak, and then it has the man at the top, his head. And in the background, there's all this smoke and like mystical, mirage kind of thing going on in the back. And all of a sudden, there's like a skeleton, looks almost like a giant skull manifesting in the corner, in the picture there. And the top, it looks more like it looks more like a rock star type of character. But this one freaked me out, because it's showing there's 2 heads. It's the anatomy of a man, got gargoyle feet, like this, type of hybridization character going on. But then there's a skull, like elongated skull, big like a, it almost looks like a cyclops, but almost it has 2. Obviously, it has 2 eyes, but it looks like a gigantic man getting ready to manifest out of the back. But it just blew my mind. This was even rendered on the application. I mean, yeah, bubbles and farts. made a mistake. But yeah, so what do you guys think? I mean, this is I was just like blown away. So I'm gonna actually keep working with the application and pinpoint more things in, and actually take the styles and try to render and change and see how it alters the state of how it changes, another Nephilim, another Rephaim, a giant, or how it can alter, if it can alter and pick up, and if it changes the format, if it stays consistent and all the styles and everything that change, and it still shows them as like demonic possessed or like angelic or whatever, then I'm gonna freak out. If it still renders it in the same shape of this concept art that I've been showing you today. So, here's the last one. I don't really want to show it, but I'll show it for just a few seconds. This one freaked me out. It cuts completely off the top of the head. Okay, this looks more like Gates of Hell stuff here. And the first thing I thought of, obviously it's a man, but the thing, the chest and everything, but obviously it almost looks like there was a face come out of the stomach. And it really literally reminded me of Alien, the movie Alien that came out in the 80s. And like, it just, like the stuff coming out of the stomach. I mean, and that's almost show up, and I'm going to cut that off because it's just, it was not the best one. It was the worst one out of all of them. So, demonically charged pictures there. It seemed to me. That's how I feel about it, and that's why I'm just presenting it today. And it's a little wild. It's out there. I know it's a little, but I mean, what can you say? I mean, you're literally using command prompts to type in, and it's rendering, artistically trying to render these crazy pictures, which are mind-boggling in itself. And this is what I have to say every time. Where, I mentioned it earlier about the Ecclesiastes. I showed the scripture about Ephesians 8, or Ephesians 6, Ephesians 6. And then, here's one that I have to bring up. But as many as received him, to them gave power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. John 1:12, KJV. So, I keep doing that, but that's okay. So, I'm only human. But, yeah, so Jesus, we need to put all of our hope in, we need to pray, for the protection of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. We need to, pray, and hold on to the garment of Christ, because this is some crazy stuff. And, like this verse here that I showed at the beginning of the broadcast, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, Ephesians 6 verse 12, KJV. And I had to bring this up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm going to now. So, have you ever thought about it with the metaverse stuff and all the different things that's been, like this whole thing with this engineered technological advancements, all these different things. And I know I'm doing some references of movies today, but I'm going to mention one more, and I just couldn't, I had to go there. I just have to go here. I don't know if I'm going to say it. Well, I will. The movie Tron, I'm not going to bash it. I'm just saying, when you think about this, narrative of this movie, and you think about the standpoint of hybridization and the different things with algorithms and different things with, with the human standpoint of the user, they call them users when these software programs, because you go into this other realm, and that's the first thing it made me think of was like the metaverse, and they collect data and all this stuff. So it's like, I'm not gonna really talk much about it because I don't know how far I can talk about it. But there's, I say everybody has watched that, mostly everybody, but I'm not promoting it. I'm just showing it for research standpoint. And it really does remind me, especially after I have watched this or looked at the data I showed you all from literally from an application from my phone, that these things are working. It's just weird to me. You got your black screen, you got your software, you got your, the hardware, the software, etc. And you got all this, you're literally just a simple word of command, and then bam, and you have a full piece of artwork, which literally just, not even this is like all new. They started bringing this out like last year. So with 5 years ago, it would be unheard of for you could just be like pop up something and something would just show up and just I mean, it literally said it would be a few minutes. It would only take for those rendering up 8, and for the 8, it only took like a minute and 30 seconds probably, and then their first 4 probably took a minute. So the speed and the accuracy, I'm not trying to boast and say that the pictures are great, and give them credit, but it is phenomenal because that's pretty intense that the algorithm could just make that and transform that all into render that into one big package and give you at least, I mean, one picture is like phenomenal, but I could get it like 8 in one setting. So it's like, wow, So what do you guys think? It's just, I think about all the things. It's phenomenal. So, that being said, guys, I hate to cut you short. I hate to jump off here today, but welcome to the Visual Disturbance channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I would really, really appreciate it if you do. And I hope you enjoy the content. Check out the vampire that I put up, the vampire show that I put up recently. Check that one out. And then another thing, I have not gave up on the Bermuda Triangle Part 2. I have not gave up on it. I'm just taking very long time to do it because I want to make sure it's perfect when I present it. And I will be doing that live, so keep that in mind whenever we pop that off, and just keep an eye out that I'll be popping on the channel here soon. But other than that, I hope you all have a great day, and just try to enjoy it, Just try to enjoy the day. And I know this, and just pray and be joyful, because this stuff right here is like insane. But this is stuff I like to bring up. I like to expose it and like to bring it to light. So here we are. I hope y'all have a great day, and shalom. And guess what? That was the wrong clip. Hey, for the record, I am not application. I am a man. so, oh man. And until next time, we might be able to pull this off. We might be able to cut this off. I don't know yet. Just bear with me. So, isn't that funny?